So let's have a look at example 1. It says find the surface area of the following cylinders and rounding to 2 decimal places. Alright, so from our diagram we see that the radius is 5 meters, so we know r is 5. And we also see that the height of the cylinder is 25, so h is 25. The units for both measurements is meters, so that's for us at the end to write in our units. So first start off with a default formula. So surface area of a cylinder is 2 pi r squared because it's 2 circles top and bottom. And you've got the curved wraparound surface, which is technically a rectangle, which is length by width, and the length is the circumference of the circle, which is 2 pi r h. So let's put in our numbers, substitute in our r's and h's. So 2 times pi r is 5 squared, plus 2 times pi times 5 times 25, which gives us 50 pi, because 5 squared is 25 and 2 lots of 25 is 50. And 2 times 5 is 10, 10 lots of 25 is 250 pi, so that's 300 pi. If the question wanted you to answer in exact values, remember that's what we want in blah-de-blah pies. So exact values, if the question asked you in exact values, it would stop at 300 pi meters squared for units. But because the question asked us to answer to 2 decimal places, we will use a calculator. And to figure out what the answer is, using a calculator, we get this is approximately 942.48. Do not forget units, meters squared, because it's an area. Very important, half mark. Very easy half mark. Now, let's look at example B. It's half a cylinder, so it's a cylinder chopped in half. So we identify from the picture that 4 is the diameter of the circle. So we know that D is 4 centimeters. Your radius is half the diameter, which is 4 divided by 2, which is 2. We also see that the height of the cylinder is 8. So h is 8. So first start by default formula. SA, surface area, is equal. Well, we've got 2 lots of half circles. So 2 lots of half of pi r squares. So 2 half circles. And we've got half of the wraparound surface. So we've got half lots of 2 pi r h, because 2 pi r h is the total area of the curved surface. Now, very, very importantly, do not forget that the bottom surface, the bottom rectangle, is also a surface, which means we need to calculate the area of that flat bottom rectangular surface as well. So because it's a rectangle, so we also have to add in length times width. So let's put in our numbers. So 2 times half lots of pi lots of r, which is 2 squared, plus half times 2 times pi, r is 2, and h is 8, because that's the height of my cylinder. And don't forget, the flooring surface of this half cylinder is 4 by 8, because that's the area of the bottom rectangle. So that gives us 2 times half is 1, 2 squared is 4 pi, plus half times 2 is 1, 2 times 8 is 16 pi, plus 32. So that gets us 20 pi plus 32. If the question asked you for exact values, you would just stop here and not type in the pi and finish off with units. But because again our question's asking us to round to 2 decimal places, we will put this in a calculator. Typing this into a calculator and pressing equals, we get 94.83 rounded to 2 decimal places, and very importantly, half mark of units. So the radius and the height was in centimeters, so our surface area is in centimeters squared because it's an area.